This podcast is all about happiness. What gave it away? I'm Fayon Dixon and welcome to Happy Talk. Each week, I will be introducing you to someone that I share a happy connection with. I just believe that we all have happy stories, happy events, and we sit on them. We never share them. So this is the platform for doing it. I work as a presenter, broadcaster, events host. I work with stroke survivors. I have my own children's radio show. And I've been really lucky in the last 20 years to do work where I just ooze happiness. Yeah, I'm one of those people. My cup is eternally overflowing. Sit back, enjoy. It's time for Happy Talk. Hello and welcome to Happy Talk with me, Fayon Dixon. Good news, good guests, no grief. You're not going to get any grief from this young man sat next to me. John Cormican, how are you?
Oh, great to see you, Fayon. Yeah, no grief, no filler, no grief.
Do you know, I've known you for about 25 years now. Do you know that? I know, look at us, we look 25, right?
Wow, a quarter of a century, Fayon.
I know. I've got, when I think about some of my good friends, I've got some numbers racked up, like decades. So, you know, we could talk a lot about just how long we've known each other. But before we get into the whole chit chat about you, I want to share some positive news from my friends, News from the Rooftop. Is that okay?
What is today's news from the rooftop?
I'm featuring Scotland today in my rooftop news. And I got to say, the reason why I follow these guys on Instagram is because they have news worth shouting about. They have lots of campaigns and there's issues that they kind of monitor. Um, they follow campaigns that are really making a difference and help to empower people. And, that's all my thing. So I love following these guys. And the news that we are going to be sharing today is about food banks in Scotland. Now, they're set to receive a digital boost from the Scottish Tech Army, the STA. It's a volunteer experts, so tech experts, and they are supporting the rollout of volunteer management system at food banks across the country. Now, I think already it takes a lot of organization with food banks. It's not like, you just put the food down and that's it. There's communications, there's like the people, the shift patterns that have to happen, the rotas, for instance. So the service needs effective management. And this is where these guys, the STA, are coming in. And they are collaborating with an organization called the Trust, which supports 137 food banks across Scotland to implement the rollout. Um, the reason I brought this particular bit of good news up is because I've just hot-foot it from the recreation centre in Brixton, which you know really, really well, don't you, John?
Mm. Oh, God, I did all my swimming there many, many years ago.
Yeah, we've all used it. And the reason I went there today is because since lockdown, they've turned that whole bowling green area, all that, the courts, badminton courts and everything down right in the basement.
Yeah.
That is a food hub. That is a place where they collect food for people, or, and just in desperate need for food in the Brixton and South London area. And I went down there today for another project I'm working on. And I spoke to the people that are facilitating it, Sue and Mala, and, the lovely guys who are just helping to pick up the food and transport it or collect it. And I just thought, how crazy is this? I've not been to the Brixton Rec for so long, and just to see it as a place that is giving to the community, helping to feed our community. But would you have ever dreamt that that's what it would be used for now? A food bank hub, John. Man, it's crazy times, isn't it?
Yeah. I've always had a soft spot for the rec when because they had a creche when my daughter was that and that I'd take her to, and so I'd go swimming and she'd be in the creche and then I'd take her out of the creche and then we'd both go swimming. And yeah, they were really good, the way they looked after me and my daughter. So
Yeah.
and can I just share with you, to my shame, up is I've only donated to a food bank twice in the last 2 weeks, because of a conversation. That's why it's so good to talk, isn't it? Because
Mm.
there was a conversation with some guys, and this guy was about especially with it all in the news about food banks and stuff, and I was like, in my head, I was, right now I'm a bit financially uh, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm not struggling. Well, I'm sort of struggling. I've got no income, is what I've got. I've got no income, and so
Mm.
I think in my head, oh, I haven't got money to do anything other than the cheapest of food at the moment. And I've been a rich man in my life, but at the moment it's I've got the, is it the drawstrings pulled tight? But I thought,
Yes, yeah, you could say that. Yeah, the drawstrings. I think that's right. Yeah.
but but when, after this conversation, it was just like, John, you're not a poor man, you're quite a rich man. It's just you, I know what you're trying to do, and I fully back up what and support what I'm doing, but I can afford to give into a food bank. So it's only happened on the last two shops. So I just shop once a week,
Sweet.
what with COVID. And yeah, but before that it was like, it never occurred to me.
Mm.
So it's great to hear about, because it was just, I shopped yesterday, and I stopped and I'd forgot to buy something specific for the food bank. So I was looking through shuffling through my shopping to think, oh, I'm not going to go back in and queue and pay and stuff. So what can I give that I've actually bought for myself?
Yeah. My Auntie Mavis used to say, do a little good. And, you're saying, yeah, hold my hands up, I haven't done it. Whatever you can do, you do. And you've done it, and twice in a very short period of time is wonderful. They're grateful for whatever they can get. And when I went down to this meeting just now, just as I was leaving the house, I was like, I can't go empty-handed. So I just grabbed a carton of orange juice. I just thought, and when I got there, they went, "Oh, you shouldn't have." I'm like, "Well, I'm sorry, I couldn't bring more, but I didn't think." But it's just brilliant that these campaigns are out there and identifying that there is an issue, and people are coming together to support it and really thinking creatively about what they can do. So I just wanted to share that with you, especially as I just come from Brixton, which is where we both technically are. So John, let me share now with you some of the happy connections that I have with you. And the first one is Brixton, but it's a place in Brixton. It is the Lido, the Brixton
I knew,
Lido.
I knew you were going to say the Lido. Yeah.
Man, 25 years ago, that's where I met you for the first time. And, it's quite a different place now. I mean, it's still open, the swimming pool's still there and everything. But that place back in the day was funky. It was, they didn't charge to get in. How many free gigs and disco and funk nights did we go to down at the Rec? I was going to say down the Rec, down at the Lido. I mean, it was just an awesome place, wasn't it?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, I'll never forget meeting you. It's almost like I can almost go back to that sunny day and hear all the children's playing and the splashing, and yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
So many times, and I don't go there anymore at all. I haven't gone there for years.
I've gone and done like, our mutual friend Beverly. She got me down there doing a Pilates class a few times, but because I bob around, sort of, I never know where I'm going to be. So I now do those, I do yoga at home. I do like everything that I can do at home because I'm freelance and I'm on the move. But I mean, it still holds so many memories for
Mm.
me there. So that's my first one. My second one, my happy memory, because you're a sculptor and you work a lot with your hands. And we're going to come on to him in a moment. My happy memory of you is at the Brixton Centre. We're both Buddhists, and we follow the Buddhism of Nichiren Buddhism. But you made the most incredible sculpture of your daughter reaching up towards a nuclear bomb. And I just want you to describe it for my viewers, because it doesn't sound like a very happy memory, but I remember when you started making it, and your daughter was really, really young, and you did have it exhibited at Taplow, but it's when it came to our Brixton Centre, that is a memory that I will cherish forever. But can you
Mm.
just describe it to everybody?
Yeah, you and me both. It's something I'll never forget. So so I was working at Madame Tussauds as a sculptor, and so when I say I sculpted a little 3/4 scale, so full, if that's full scale, it was 3/4 of my then 4-year-old daughter, and I did it using the techniques that we used to do a portrait at Madame Tussauds. So it was quite accurate, and I did it in the finished thing in silicon, so it was hair punched and painted realistically, glass eyes. So it looked quite realistic, and I bought clothes. So of someone a lot younger than her. And I'll never forget when she first saw it. When my daughter first saw this sculpture of her as a 4-year-old, as you said, reaching up to this fat man. It was of the 2 bombs that were dropped in Japan. It was the second one. And she just looked at it as a 4-year-old and goes, purple Jello shoes, Daddy. And it wasn't that she was like, she was really cross because the little doll, if you like, had
Mm.
purple Jello shoes, and I hadn't bought her purple Jello shoes. She was quite indignant that
All my
this.
shoes.
Why have not I got those? But yeah, it was the bit that I'll never forget was meeting someone who I knew like you, and I was up there, and it was downstairs in this in the SGI centre, and I was upstairs, and I was just chatting with someone. There was a shop up at the top where you could buy Buddhist stuff, books and stuff for your chanting. And this woman said, "Oh, hi, what are you doing here?" And I said, "Oh, yeah, I'm here." And I did that sculpture downstairs, and she almost just collapsed to the floor in emotion. It
Oh, wow.
upset her so much. So so it was really touching to have someone to be so affected by what was possibly my only second ever piece of artwork,
Mm.
art, capital A, art, and to affect someone so much like that. Um, and just what it affected her was it was an emotional response that I was after, because the idea is you'd look at this sculpture and see the innocence of a little 4-year-old
Mm.
sweet girl innocently looking up at this big and fat man is like a balloon. It almost looks like a comic uh, roadrunner bomb. It's
That's right.
and I'd painted it all white, so it was you could see that there's this child looking innocently at this all big balloon type object,
Pretty. Mm.
but you know the the horror and devastation and thousands of innocent civilian lives that would be snuffed out just like that because
Mm.
of this. So I was because of this object. So I was kind of playing between these 2 objects, one very sweet and reaching out to this very demonic thing
So where is the sculpture now?
in my bedroom next door.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, I know you from so long. I know your journey. And I remember when you hurt your hand and you couldn't work for so long. You were at Jim Henson's at that time. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, gosh, the memory's still there.
Mm.
So I want to talk about my other happy memory that I have of you. Um, it's a slightly disconnected one, but I feel I need to mention it. It's new romantic. I didn't know you when you were a new romantic, but I was invited to, I think, one of your 0 birthdays, let's just say that. And you put out, it was so cool. You put out an invitation of sort of
Oh,
John through the decades.
mm.
And the one, I nearly had tears coming down my face, was you with your flock of seagulls style haircut. You look like you should have been there. You look like you should have been on Top of the Pops. I was a massive New Romantic fan. You know, I basically put it was Tom, what's his name from Thompson Twins? Tom, he said Tom Daly then. I can't think of his name now. But
Yeah.
anyway, he had a little plait at the back of his hair. Do you remember? And it came
Mm.
all the way down. And I got my mum to make me one because she did wig making in her spare time. And I had it attached to the back with my little afro. So I was like rocking my little New Romantic ponytail. He had it cut off by a fan, you know.
Ah, that doesn't fit in today's stories of happiness.
So for you, your top two 80s bands, who were they?
My gosh. So, so I think it was the 80s. I followed a band called Theatre of Hate.
Whoa, I didn't expect
That
that.
was sort of post-punk. Had we gone into? I don't think it was before New Romantics. And then, all right, yeah, you've just taken me back there. Okay, so oh, it's a bit cringeworthy, but a
Say it.
guilty pleasure. But it was a band called Japan. David Sylvian. He had a similar hairstyle, that
That was the
blonde.
look.
That was the look, yeah. And I just, yeah, it really touched into this oh so upset and depressive me that was, yeah.
I can hear the song. Just
Which
when
one? Taking That Emotion.
I think I'm winning, and I've opened every door, the ghost of my life is harder than before. Just when I thought I could not be stopped. Yes, yes, Japan, David Sylvian. It's time. And I remember Nick Rhodes from Duran Duran,
Yeah.
who was a band that I loved back in the day. The two of them looked so similar. You know, I think if you put them in a room together, it would be very difficult to sort of, sort of see which one was which. But I think David Sylvian had a slightly darker look about him, you know. But yeah, Japan for you. Yeah, for me, it was, yeah, for my, it's not my shame. You know, I love my disco, I love my funk, but I used to love Duran Duran. Ooh. It's all coming out
Mm.
here on Happy Talk.
But I mean, I could sing along to practically all their greatest hits. I know them really well. I know them really well.
I'm gonna have to edit out my singing then because I can't sing. I can hear every word.
No, you shouldn't. Yeah, I got that. I know the song you mean.
I'm gonna
I
leave
think
it in.
there's two times in my life in the 70s, this is showing my age, is that when if you were wanting to date girls, you had to know all the Bay City Roller songs. And then in the 80s, if you wanted to date a girl, you had to know Duran Duran. It came part and parcel.
Absolutely right. As soon as you said Bay City Rollers, I thought, shalala. I don't even know what I'm singing here. I don't,
You
I
got
don't
it.
heard something. Heard it once, wasn't there? As a big Bay City Rollers fan. We used to have to stop. I don't think boys did this, but my friend Donna and we used to have the Bay City Rollers socks, and we also used to have as well the Jackson 5 socks. So you'd have the faces of some of the members going up your legs. They don't do that sort of thing anymore, you know? Okay, it is now time, John Cormican, for your show and tell.
Show and tell.
Pray tell, what have you brought for me?
So there was a lot of things going through my mind. Like the little hand of my daughter made in plaster when she was just about everything. But what I decided to do is I've brought this box here. So this sits on my Buddhist altar. I'm going to open it up for you. Inside is a paperweight, and the paperweight is signed by Daisaku Ikeda, who's
Oh,
the who's my Buddhist mentor, our Buddhist mentor,
our Buddhist
and
mentor.
our Buddhist mentor. And so you might think there's a bit of penne, Italian pasta in there. I'm not quite sure what that's doing there, but it's painted in our SBI colours.
Emergency rations.
And there's a tooth for my daughter, when one of her milk teeth. But basically, it's this paperweight. And so, can I explain to you why that I've chosen that
Please.
as the thing that brings me most joy? So I said it was a gift from my mentor, and it was in response to a gift that I gave him in 1994. So I sculpted a bronze statue because in 2 years of Buddhist practice, my life had turned around so completely from this self-hatred, forgive me, but that's where I was before practicing my Buddhist practice, to this sort of growing inner friendliness towards myself. And I wanted to express this gratitude, and I didn't really know where to direct it. And as a sculptor working in films, then I just did this. It was almost like a self-portrait of me in a classical style, chanting. And his response was to give me this paperweight.
Amazing.
And so that was in 94. In 97, I find myself in Rome, in Italy, on a Buddhist course with lots of young Buddhist people. And our mentor, the man who gave me this, had asked us to write down our dream job or career. And I found myself writing world-renowned sculptor. I don't know where. So that was, you can imagine just someone saying to you, oh, you could work it out. 97, I'm going to be 36, I think.
Okay.
Something like that. If the maths doesn't work, forgive me. I'll tell you how old I am later on. But so it was just really interesting that someone would ask me this, that when in this state of life where I'm in a Buddhist course in Europe, full of European Buddhists, feeling really like touching into the bigger consciousness, if you like, that I'd come up with this thing when I'm just, hey, I'm doing a bit of sculpting, as working in films and that, but it's not like I'm the sculptor. But that's what I wrote down. And then fast forward to 2011, and by then I'd left the film business, and I'm working as a sculptor for Madame Tussauds, doing portraits. That I suddenly realised I had figures, like I did a wax figure of Snoop Dogg. I got figures in USA. I got figures in China, in Japan. The attractions were, I was like one of their favourite sculptors. I would be asked for. And obviously in Europe, and not so much in the UK. I was more in other places, although I have got 2 figures in Madame Tussauds in England. But yeah, just suddenly I suddenly realised is that, oh my God, I got there. I'm a world-renowned sculptor. So that felt great, isn't it? From this encouragement, because my Buddhist mentor is always about encouraging hopes and dreams, isn't it? Yeah. But I went on to what I wanted to tell you is this latest encouragement from this seed planted here to this statue that I'm just sat next to here, isn't it? Yeah. So it was just that I went on a similar journey of not self-hatred, but very much I'm not good enough as a sculptor, to finally doing this piece, which was in response to a horrific, barbaric, awful, awful thing. So I'm just going to pull out a positive aspect of it. So my response was to venerate George. All life is precious, and the tragedy was just, it hurt me so much. I wanted to use my artistic voice, and that's what brought me some happiness, was that I was happy with what I was doing. There was quite a few people on social media that criticized. I don't know if you've ever
always going to have critics,
isn't it? And there's to do with just who I've sculpted, but I feel really proud that that's exactly what I did. And I stick by that. And the other thing, and the bit that I want to share with you, is that journey that I went with me and my own work. So one of highly critical, never happy, to doing this portrait and this portrait. I'm like, I really love it. And I've never felt that way about my own work. So that was this, it's just this, I come from this Buddhist world of encouragement, like dealers in hope, where it's the biggest thing, isn't it? Is hope is such an important thing, and then coming to never giving up. And here I am trying to launch myself as an artist, which is right back to that original determination of being a world-renowned sculptor. I did it in the commercial world and got there, But now I'm actually taking it to the highest level, which is I'm determined to be a well-renowned, world-renowned sculptor in the artist world.
Wow. I have no doubt at all that you will achieve this because we have this incredible practice and because of this encouragement that we're given, but it's going deep
Mm,
inside all of our doubt and all the voices that tell us no, because the voices at the end of the day are the voice here. So, in our Buddhist practice, we really are attuned to our heart, and the
yeah,
heart is most important, isn't it? And
yeah, yeah, yeah,
we strive to be the happiest we can be, but not on a superficial level. I've done all the superficial stuff, but where I am now, I can totally hear where you are, John, because for me, you're an incredibly successful sculptor, but it's that next stage now of that artistic side of things that you want to explore. And I cannot wait to see what you come up with. I
mm,
really cannot. I know already the work you have done with your David Bowie piece, and um, some of the drawings that I've seen on Instagram have been absolutely mind blowing. You're such a talent, and I can feel I can feel the encouragement coming through the screen right now. You're infectious. That's what I'm trying to say. Your desire to succeed is infectious. So I have my own I have my own dreams, and I am working at them. It is true. Even getting this podcast up and running has been something I've wanted to do for a year, and it took the time it took, and I had to sweep away any negativity right up until the last minute. But here we are. We're doing it.
I always think that I it's really hard. There's many artists in the field that I want to have a success with
Yeah.
who have failed, and and being talented, I don't doubt my talent, and especially at this stage I'm at in my life at all. I kind of like my talent. I'm really enjoying it. So but it takes something else, isn't it? And that's where I can have as much uh, doubt and fear and feelings of failure as the next person, even though I've got a lot of talent to back me up. I'm not immune to feelings of
That's it.
negativity. And
Yeah.
that's why I'm sharing this, because it's like, in a way, I don't need to be a success. I've had two successful careers, isn't it? I mentioned them. Film business. I won an, I won an Emmy award winning makeup effects artist. Tick. Madame Tussauds portrait artist. Benedict Cumberbatch waxwork. I think it's one of the best they've ever had, if you ask me.
You.
It-
Yeah.
Absolutely tick. So I don't need to do something else. I feel like, but this is about encouraging other people to go right back to the beginning and
Mm,
go, okay, right, from having no experience in the art world, no connections in the art world.
mm.
Yes, I've got the talent, but like I say, I think you can look at the art world and say, I'm not 100% sure that talent is what it actually makes successful.
That's right.
So yeah, it's can I encourage people? Never. So I was going to mention it, isn't it? Next month I'm going to be 60. So
Shut
it's like,
the front door. That is
yeah, but
not true.
that is what I wanted to be, having my another zero party, because you 40th at the Lido, 50th just next door to the Brixton Rec at the I've forgotten what the name of the pub is.
Oh, the not the Cambridge, the Camberwell, the
Not the
Canterbury Arms.
Canterbury Arms, that's it, yeah. So my 60th was going to be another big event, and I can't have it. But I'm not
We'll
I'm
see.
not having it. Maybe on my 61st. But
You
what I
don't have
want,
to have it on the day or around that time, but you are going to celebrate your
I
60th.
am going to celebrate, yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But I want to encourage people that never give up, never stop wanting, and don't let age come along and say, "Oh, I'm too old for that." No, not.
It's the spirit. It's your spirit, John. John, you have a youthful spirit, and that is what counts at the end of the day. And I just cannot thank you enough for being a guest here on Happy Talk. It's been wonderful to hear your your experiences and to have those shared. So thank you so much.
Oh, Fayon, I love talking. It's so nice to see you, even though it's not. I can't feel your vibe. I always. Can I share with you? Last thing is my
Yeah,
happy memory with you.
yeah.
Dance floor. So many dance floors. You. I don't think there's many things that make me socially happier than being on a dance floor with you.
Oh, I've missed it. Oh, I've missed it. But saying that, I'm still tearing up the ground here in my own home. Just on Saturday night, a friend, old friend. I mean, I've known you. He knows the music that I love, and he knows the soundtrack of my life, and he's DJ'd at quite a couple of my parties, and I will not get water. I will get no nourishment. My nourishment comes from the music. And he had something on, he did like a party over, online, and I called up some people on WhatsApp, and I had my fairy lights going and my disco lights going and tore up the place. We're on lockdown, but I can't lock this girl down when it comes to music. I gotta dance. It's like taking away air. I have to dance. Oh, John, we'll be together again on a dance floor sometime soon.
Good. I'll hold you to that.
It's held. All right. All right. Well, thank you so much. You take care.
Thank you. Lovely to chat with you.
You too. Thank you so much, John. It was brilliant to have you as a guest here on Happy Talk. So it's now time for your happy happenings. And this is a really gorgeous, romantic story that has come via Coventry. Sarah has sent in a story about her son, Jack and Rachel, who have been a couple for about, I think it's about 7 years, but they only met about 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. So they met while he was here in England and she was in America. And they met online and they spoke every single day for about 4 years. I think it was something like that. And they formed a relationship, and eventually Rachel came over here, and then he came over there, just on holidays. And it was their love. It just grew and grew and grew, and they continued to speak every single day. So with all this long distance stuff going on, they still got on with their careers, him as an ambulance man, driver, and her wanting to work as a veterinarian, but they wanted to be together. And I am pleased to say that I've been informed that Rachel has moved to the UK. She got her visa and she got her stay and she's moved. And after being imagine talking to somebody online for 4 years, day after day after day, and building that connection. And then you finally get to meet. It's just so beautiful. So they've started their life now in the West Midlands together. And I love it. Thank you so much, Sarah, for sharing this very happy news for a young couple. And they are really young, in their early 20s, how love conquered everything, even through the miles. So if you have a happy happening that you would like to share with me here on Happy Talk, then just send me an email to happytalkwithfayondixon@gmail.com. But for now, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again really soon. Well, in a week with another Happy Talk. Take care.